Hey everybody, Joe Coffey here for PremierGuitar.com. We're at Summer NAMM 2009, technically the pre-NAMM show with Artist Relations, checking out some new products from Ultimate Ears. And I've got Paul Manfrini with me here. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Hey, everybody's familiar with in-ear monitors, but a lot of people may not know exactly how that works. How do you get your mold? What all can you do with it? Does it have to be that bland gray thing? Can you pimp it out? Tell me about the products.
So Ultimate Ears has been around since 1995, and we've been making actually custom in-ear monitors since that time. It got started on side stage of Van Halen, and since that time word of mouth spread, and we basically service 75% of the live performing market with these products. They originally and still do replace the wedge monitors that you see on stage, and actually when you put them in your ears, they're custom molded by hand for each person's individual ear. And what that means for the individual is that once they get them in their ears, it knocks out all of that loud stage noise and protects their ears effectively.
Let me pause you for a moment. You said custom molded. I see some custom molding going on over here, right?
And Michael's a famous bass player that does a lot of session work and travels on the road. And yeah, he's been wearing them, and he's getting some new impressions because about every 3 or 4 years, your ears actually change.
What's with the biting thing?
So the bite block that he's got in his mouth right now is actually the way we want their mouth positioned, because what it does is it opens up the ear canal, and that's kind of the worst case scenario when somebody is singing. And what we want to ensure is that when their mouth is open, they keep the seal and don't allow any ambient noise into their ears.
When it comes to in-ear monitors, back in the old day, I used to wear some that the speaker would be clipped to my collar and the tube would come up. These are the kind where the speaker is actually inside the mold itself, correct?
Correct. I mean, we have products that run from 2 speakers in each ear all the way up to 4 speakers in each ear. These are, proprietary speakers that we've designed for stage use, and now they're finding their way not only in the stage use, but everybody's starting to use them with their iPods and everything else. So they just give, it's sort of like having a $30,000 home system in your ear. That's kind of what you're dealing with. And the cool thing is, because our artists and people on stage have a flair for jewelry and bling, like you were kind of talking about, we have a tattoo artist and a graphics artist on staff that do nothing but pimp these things out. So as you can see, right now you're looking at Miranda Lambert's here, and there's a gentleman from Rascal Flatts right next to it. And if you look at mine, I can actually show you what I did. What I ended up doing was I had asked the guys, you can get as creative as you want. I went online, I found a yin-yang sign with Tibetan prayers, columns, and I said that I wanted the inside to look like the earth and the outside to look like the sun. And I let them do their thing, and that's what they came up with. So yeah, we can do just about anything, and we actually have folks that send us jewelry and we embed it on there. I mean, it could be diamonds, whatever they want to encrust these things with. So yeah, interesting, fun stuff. Yeah.
As far as a system, this is basically the end part that you work into another system. I assume it's just an 1/8" jack there. You can use that with whatever system you prefer, right?
It's a standard 3.5 millimeter jack. And what they typically do on stage is plug into a wireless pack. There's a couple of vendors out there that make those, and they talk to a transmitter which is on the side of the stage where the sound engineer is monitoring all of this. So they can regulate the volume that goes into the individual's ears, which is a lot safer. As I mentioned, you can reduce the volume because it's blocking all the noise on the stage out. And the other thing that it does really is it allows them to customize their mix. So if I'm singing a song with a guy next to me and I want to make sure I hear that person harmonizing with me, that's primarily what I'll want in my mix for that song. So all of that gets taken care of with these. It's sort of revolutionary to the sound on the stage and how people manage it.
What should the weekend warrior gigging musician know? I mean, there might be a false assumption that, oh, that's like a total pro level thing with on stage separate mixers for monitoring sound and whatnot. I mean, can just your normal guy playing on the weekends find a way to incorporate this into his setup?
Yeah. So we just came out with a product called the UE4, which is specifically designed for emerging bands, houses of worship, and cover bands. And what we've done is we've taken some of the cost out. They can't do the artwork and some of the other things, but it's a base product that's made for stage use and studio. And we've made it what we consider affordable in the pro range, which is, yeah, it's like $399. some of these things run up to $1,200. So in the past, Ultimate Ears was exclusive to only musicians who had really made it, were on the tour, making a lot of money, and they could afford that. What we wanted to address and start addressing were the emerging bands and cover bands, because not only is it a great product for them, but it also starts preserving their hearing early on in their career so that 20 years from now they're still able to hear. That's kind of what the whole purpose of the UE4 is. So they still get impressions, they're still custom, but they're at the price range of what you'd pay for a high-end consumer product. So yeah, it's a very nice product. I think people will love it. Very flat response. So the other thing that's nice is that it'll start training people who are coming off that sound on the stage and the wedges to really give them a flat response, and they get to hear exactly how they're performing, which is a good baseline to learn from, because then they can move up and migrate into our other products where we actually tweak the sound and the frequency response based on clients' needs.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, if people want to find out more, where can they go online?
It's www.ultimateears.com.
All right. Paul, thanks a lot, man.
All right, thank you.
I'm Joe Coffey. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.